guys, we're back with Kory, and today he's bringing us an updated version of his Deskbot deck.
For this deck, I actually feel this one is actually completed. Like, there's nothing else I would add or take out of this deck at this point. I don't really think this deck could get much better for my play style. From the way I play it, this deck is stun aggro, I guess, because I've run a lot of negates in there. I can easily get out cards like Infinity, Omega. I can just Maturity Beast. I fucking love Maturity Beast. But this deck is great for attacking over everything. It's got the negate power to stop a lot of things, and I'm gonna say this right now. I run 3 base, run 3 terraforming, and run 3 dupe. I run 3 terraforming due to the fact that when I have a base on the field, it's a free draw. And it's a free search, so it's a deck thin plus a draw all in one. And I run 3 dupe because base doesn't usually stay on the field long enough for me to really have to worry about it. I pop it more than anything with my own effects and then pop my opponent's field with it. And just gonna say that right now. Anyways, let's begin. Alright, so for the first card, I run 1 Deskbot 1. You don't need any more than this because you really don't synchro often, and when you do, bringing him back from the graveyard is not hard at all. Getting him on the field is not hard at all. And if you have a full field of monsters, you can get him up to 3,000 attack with ease. Alright, for the next one, I run 3-2. This card is the main searcher of the deck. You can special summon him out quite a bit if you're popping your own pendulum scales, if you're using 3 to bring him out, if you're using dupe. But this card is quite easy to bring out. He's one of the main components in getting an easy 2 to 3 card combo for 15,000 attack monster that can just end game, FTK. Next, well, the biggest, probably one of the best cards in this deck. If you want any card in your hand, you either want 3 or 4 in your hand. 3, on normal summon, can special summon out any other Deskbot monster, and it can boost any Deskbot monster's attack by 500 for every Deskbot card on the field. So if you have a full field setup with 3 on board, you can easily get over 4,000, 5,000 attack. And pretty much not once per turn. So if you can find a way to normal summon this guy twice, which this deck is not, the deck build I have right now is not capable of doing, but pretty much normal summon, free search, and depending on what you search out, you can just completely decimate your opponent's board. Alright, next, run 3 Deskbot 4. The reason I do not run Utopia in this deck is because I have 3 Deskbot 4s. This card can get up to 5,000 attack on its own just by ditching number 9. It's just a really deadly card. It can attack over anything, and when it does, you get a special summon 2 Deskbot cards with different names. I mean, Deskbot monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard, which you can combo off with 2. You can go into synchro plays with 1 if you have in your hand, and you ditch a 7 to up his attack. You got yourself a free Omega. You got yourself a free Starlight. You can go crazy with these plays. Alright, one of the main changes I made in this deck when the ban list at Limited Max Heat came out is I added a 3rd number 5, and I wish I had done it sooner. On summon, you get to target 1 spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. You can target your own pendulum scales to get off their effects of special summoning 1 back, adding 1 back to hand. You can target base if you want to use normal summon 3, special summon out 5, target base, and then use dupe on him, and then you get to XYZ into Nova and then Infinity, which means you get yourself free monster removal plus a free negate on board, which usually is up to 2,700 attack on summon. Next, I run 2-6. This card combos off well with Infinity because you get to change the battle position of a monster on the field. Change one of your opponent's monsters to attack, absorb it with Infinity, and then just start attacking crap like crazy. Plus, he's your scale 1, so you always want to have... I tried to keep it even, but as you can see, I have 1 more scale 10 in here than I do a scale 1, but that's because you normally summon this guy out before you really put him in your pendulum scales. Next, I run 2 number 7s. This guy's got piercing damage. If you have 2 of them on the field, it's a soft lock. Your opponent cannot actually attack you, period, due to his effect. Plus, he gains 500 attack for each Deskbot card in your graveyard, which means late game, This card goes absolutely insane, getting easily over 4,000 attack on Summon, which, as you all know, instantly goes over a Quasar, which is always a beautiful thing. And since it's not using an effect, Quasar cannot negate it. Plus, it's your rank, your scale 10. You can also go into any XYZ that's level 7. I have Big Eye here. You can go into Flare Metal if you really want. I'm thinking about changing that out, to be honest. Next, I run 2-8. In my last deck profile of this one, I messed up the effect and I looked at it closer. She can make 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Plus, she's got the soft lock effect of if you have 2 of her on the field, your opponent cannot target any Deskbot card on the field with card effects. So if you get 2 8s and 2 7s, your opponent cannot target anything and they cannot attack anything. The only problem is if they Dark Hole or Raigeki, your field's decimated anyways because it's not targeting. But she's good to have just for if you want to go into an XYZ, which in here I think I have Hope Harbinger. She's also, well, she doesn't work for any synchro plays because I don't have any level 9 synchros in here because most level 9 synchros are kind of worthless. Alright, and then I run 1-9. If this card comes out on the field, you know you're going for endgame because your opponent cannot activate effects when it attacks. And this guy's attack can easily go insane. I think the highest I've ever gotten him was like 36,000 attack by himself. Well, he wasn't by himself, he had a full board of other monsters, but his attack can just go absolutely insane. And that's the main reason I run him. Next, I run 1 Max C, draw power, of course. And one of the main reasons this deck is not budget is I swapped out Ghost Ogre for an Ash Blossom. Probably gonna get a lot of hate for that, but at the same time, hey, if you want to mess up your opponent's turn, don't let them search, don't let them special summon from the deck, and if you don't want them to send stuff to the graveyard, guess what? This is your card. Alright, that's it for the monsters. Next, I am going into my spells. I run 3 base. Like I said, this card is pretty much the magical mallet of the deck. I've only ever used its Banish 9 effect to destroy your opponent's field once. This card is just absolutely insane. It's a free draw, and it's pretty much just unbricks your hands. Next, I run not 1, not 2, but 3 Terraforming. As I said earlier, if you have a base on field, you draw into Terraforming, you search out another base, and then you get to shuffle base for a free draw. You've not only thinned your deck, but now you've potentially gotten another card that can help you, all because you ran that 3rd Terraforming. 3 Terraforming's glorious. I will never run less. Next, I run 3 Machine Dupe. This card is absolutely crazy in this deck. You draw onto this, and if you don't have base on field, you get yourself 2 extra summons of a monster. If you do have base on field, just pop it with an MST or Deskbot 5, and then you can just start XYZ into things. This card, I would not run less of it in this deck build. You can run 2, but at the same time, it's not as potent then. Run 3. Run 1 Reasoning. I'm going to be switching this card out for Raigeki, but for now it's a free special summon if my opponent doesn't call right, but seeing as how you're running 9 different levels, that's a 1 out of 9 chance of them actually calling the right card. I prefer the Raigeki for field clear though. Next, run 2 MSTs. You'll pop your own scales, you'll pop your base, you'll pop your opponent's back row. Whatever you want to pop, whatever helps you at that time. You just got to be skilled to know what you're actually popping, because you want to know if you want to pop base for Machine Dupe. Once again, you got to have skill and know how to do that. Or if you want to pop your scale for a free special summon or add a 3 back to hand if you're popping 6, it works either way. 1 Soul Charge. The best monster revival card we have to date. The only problem is you lose your battle phase, which can hurt in Deskbots because they're mainly attack-based deck, unless you're going into a couple XYZs or something like that. But other than that, probably best card ever, because if you bring back 2, you get yourself a free search. You can you get a search out of 3, get a special summon out. You get a normal summon of 3, special summon on it, whatever you need, and you can just go crazy. All right, next, last spell. I run 1 Upstart Goblin. Just free draw power makes so I'm running a 39 card deck, and with Deskbots, that extra 1,000 points your opponent's playing does not matter because you're going to be taking it right back away. Alright, on to traps. This is the main reason this deck is not budget. I run the full Solemn Brigade. You want these cards on your field because then it's just disruption. It means your opponent cannot activate effects. Your opponent, you can negate in a full-on special summon. If they decide to dedicate their board, you can just completely mess it up. This card, everybody keeps telling me to run D-Barrier, and I'm like, I don't honestly, I prefer the strikes over D-Barrier any day. And then for the traps, one breakthrough skill, because, you know, negating your opponent's effects twice. Once when it's initially summoned, once when it's initially used, and then if you need it on your turn, you can use it again to get over those monsters that say cannot be destroyed by battle. Looking at you, Max, using that frickin' Armor Master on me. Alright, and that's it for the main deck. Like I said, this deck is not anywhere near budget, but you can always change out some of those cards for others. For a while there, instead of running the second strike, I was running a Grand Horn of Heaven. It didn't work nearly as well, so that's why I traded it out, but hey, whatever works for you. Alright, on to the extra deck. I run one Old Entity of Store. It's kind of in there just in case my opponent has cards that I really can't get around. I'll normal summon 3, special summon 1, synchro into him, attack into it, and it just equips itself to my opponent, so they can't activate effect on their effects are negated, and you can't attack. Plus, if you manage to get yourself an MST or 5 on field, you can pop them right off and steal your opponent's monster, which, you know, is always a trolly thing to do. Next, I run one Naturia Beast for spell negation, keep him face up on the field. He doesn't have much protection because he's not a machine. You can't boost his attack. You can't really do much with him, but hey, free spell negation, why not? And it's not once per turn. That's even better. Next, one Naturia Barkion. If you have a full graveyard full of a bunch of stuff you don't really want in there, Barkion's your guy. If you get Barkion and Beast on the field at the same time, your opponent's pretty much just shut down for a while. And then, last for the Naturia monsters, by the way, Ghost Rare, best rarity, wish they'd bring it back. Naturia Landois. I honestly don't go into this one very often, but because I run a lot of spells, but they're usually getting played the moment I grab them in a hand. You can use this card to ditch like an extra dupe if you really can't use it. So it's not completely dead if you're knowing what you're doing, but it's just a free monster negate, and once again, as you can tell by every deck I have ran so far, I like negating my opponent's stuff. Next, Clear Wing. It's pure protection. You want to protect your level 5 or higher? There you go. You want to stop your opponent from using high-level monster effects? There you go. It's glorious. Next, once again, why it's not budget, I run one Omega. I don't think I have to really explain this card. After that, last level 8 I run is Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend. You can just burn your opponents. I've actually burned my opponent out for game because my entire board was special summoned. Some of theirs was activate effect, destroy all special summon monsters under 3,000, and it just burns them out. That's the main reason why I have them in here is, well, that really helps against Blue Eyes because it's really funny when they have a full field set up of special summon monsters and all of a sudden you just destroy everything. They get real salty. And then this is a Deskbot deck, so I do run one Deskbot Jet. At first when I started running this, I didn't think this card was all too good until I started playing it. This card goes absolutely insane. Once Link format comes out, this card will be even more insane because it goes into the Link Zone, which means that, hey, now you have a full field of Deskbot monsters plus Pendulum Zone and a field spell. Ooh, let's add up that real quick. That's a total of 8 extra monsters plus himself, so he's a 5,000 attack monster if you have a full field of Deskbot monsters. Who doesn't love that? Plus, you can destroy one Deskbot card on the field, search out another one, or destroy something else on your opponent's side of the field. Guess what? You got yourself free searches, you can clear problem boards, and you can just go crazy with your XYZ and Synchro plays. Alright, that's it for my Synchro monsters. Next on to my XYZs. Run one Castel. If you have room to run Castel, you run Castel. It's a free Book of Moon or send something back into your opponent's deck. Why wouldn't you want that? For my second rank 4, Gear Gigan X. You can bring 3s back from the grave, you can bring 4s back from the grave, you can search them out from your deck. It just kind of helps set you up for next turn plays. Or if you pendulum summoned out the 4s or all 4, then use machine dupe. You can bring out 3, you get to keep 1 extra 4 on field. Plus him, you get a free search. You can normal summon out 3 after that, and you can just special summon out more, and it just goes absolutely insane. The next reason why this deck really isn't all too budget is because of the next 2 cards you run. 1 Nova, which of course you use to go on to infinity. I run too many non-budget cards for my own good, and my bank account does not like me for it, but at the same time, this card wins me games. Next, for the rank 6, I run 1 Dragulus. He's good for Book of Moon and stuff. I don't summon him all too often, to be honest, but when I do, it's more helpful than anything. For my rank 7, I run Big Eye. Steal your opponent's monster. It doesn't matter, you really can't attack. Just stealing that monster is all you really want to do. And last but not least is Hope Harbinger. This guy's gone down in price, thankfully, but he's good for negating your opponent's spells, redirecting attacks away from your 2s up to him, and it's just a glorious card. Anyways, guys, that is all for the deck profile. The deck isn't budget, as I've said numerous times, but all you really need to do is just switch out cards for what you feel like playing, and as always, change up the deck to how you see fit so that way you can actually have fun playing and have a good day.
Enjoy it.